All right, guys, this week we're talking about PRing in competitions and breaking through that barrier if you've been stuck with PRs in competitions for a little bit. So we're hopping right into a coach's corner, and this is where I sit here and go through some key points with you that's going to help you reframe competitions so you can start making progress again. So I even had written up some notes, so you're going to see me peeking down and checking them. So what I want to talk about is understanding the difference between competing and training. Guys, they're completely different, right? Complete different environment, complete different headspace, complete different feel overall. Now, in training, we want to be mimicking competition as much as we can. What I mean by that, and I guess you could say it in reverse, at competition, we want to mimic what we do in training as much as we can. So the similar jumps, taking similar jumps through competition, arranging our warm-ups like we would be warming up if we were training, and we can practice that in training and take that into competitions. But it's important to understand that they're two different environments. And that brings up the concept of practicing competing. Use local meets to go after different facets of your game plan, right? Every local meet, you do not need to taper. You don't need to taper and peak for these training meets. Think of them as a heavy day. Okay, I'm going to register for this local meet. I'm going to have a heavy day that Saturday, and this is what I'm going to focus on. Right? Take a little bit of that pressure off and go in and understand that you can practice competing. I have met a number of athletes who get a number in their head. Some number they've got online, they've seen what other people in their weight class do, and they come up with some number that makes them ready to compete. If you know what a snatch is, you know what a clean and jerk is, and you're able to perform them safely and correctly, you're ready for a meet. The importance of a first meet is to go in there and see if you like it. See if you like it, realize that it's completely different than training, and that begins your process of practicing competing, right? Now, these guys that I told you about, they work for this number that they got in their head, and I've watched a number of them make that number. Year and a half of good hard work. They make that number, and then guess what? They go into a meet, and it doesn't go well. And guess what they walk out saying? Maybe this isn't for me. That is baloney. Baloney. What happened there was you didn't practice competing. So keep that in mind, guys. You can practice competing by going to local meets, make them heavy days, and then go in with a game plan, something that you're aimed at, to be able to attack and focus on and work on that. So the next things I want to talk about is nerves. What are nerves? You hear that all the time. Oh, it's just nerves, right? And what I want to open you up to when I talk about nerves is sensations in the body, okay? So when you go into a meet, what do you feel? And a lot of athletes, when you ask that, they want to go into story, right? They may say an emotion or two. Oh, I'm anxious. Oh, well, I'm excited. But where I want you to go is deeper than that. Where do you feel anxious at in your body? Is it in your stomach? Is it butterflies, tingling, upset stomach, and you feel like you're going to throw up, right? Heavy stomach? Is it in your chest? Tight chest, tightness, heat, all of these terms that you can bring to the sensation. What is going on in your body? Because that's the first step to being able to step through nerves into the person that you want to be in your competition, okay? So nerves, where do you feel them in your body? At what points? Are they stronger at times? Are they not? And now this brings into the story we're telling ourselves. So when they're stronger, what is it that we're believing is true? Are we creating a story, telling ourselves that we have to do something, or, something's going to go wrong, right? What are we telling ourselves? And as we become aware of these stories, guys, this is where our journal becomes vital. Take your journal and put that story into your journal. When you get it on paper, you're able to gain perspective. And that is the first step that we take when it comes to nerves. And this is stuff that we work with our athletes all the time. So if this is brand new to you, this is step one, and I encourage you to look into it, because if you're watching this video, You may not have PR'd in a while for your competition, so what are we putting the work in for, right? Let's get into this and let's help you reach your goals. Now, the next thing, guys, is going in with a plan, right? And there's a caveat here. Remember, I should have looked up this quote, but the old quote where it's, basically the best laid plans go away the second the thing starts, right? And there's examples from the military, there's examples from business people, but basically, you could also look at failing to plan as planning to fail, right? So we want to go in with a plan, but we need to be aware that when circumstances changes, so does our plan, and that's okay. And what I mean by this is I want to bring up the topic sunk cost, right? So sunk cost in business, they talk all about. And say you're going to buy a piece of equipment that's going to make a widget for 5 cents, right? But you're not going to get this machine for a year, and you got to put a $10,000 deposit down. So you do, and on month 11, a new machine comes out that can make a widget for a penny instead of 5 cents. What do? Right? And the correct answer is to forget about the $10,000 that you invested, the sunk cost, it's gone. And you buy the machine that makes it for a penny, because over the long run, that is going to be huge for you, right? However, the attachment that we put on things, such as money, can definitely hold us back. But I've seen this in weightlifting. The attachment that we put to our plan can hold us back. Okay, we've made up this plan. If it doesn't go exactly like we've written it down, we failed. Baloney. Again, baloney, guys. So here's the thing. Go in with the best intentions. This is the plan. This is where we think we're at. See what's going on. How are you moving that day? How are things going, right? If you have to adjust your numbers around, do it. Listen to your body. Now, this is difficult to do on your own when you're new. So if you do not have a coach and you're trying to get better at your competitions, trying to PR, get support, right? A coach in a competition is huge. They do the thinking for you. At the competition, it's the time for the athlete to be able to just allow themselves to relax and lift the bar, and the coach should be doing all the stressing. The coach should be counting. The coach should be making sure you're warmed up in time. The coach should be making sure it's your attempt. All of those things, that's on the coach. And if you don't have that, guys, it's a great investment. You're going to learn something. Do it. Get yourself a coach. Now, back to that sunk cost. One last little caveat. I want to tell a little story. This was at the Arnold, maybe 2 years ago now. But a guy comes in, right? Goes out for his opener. Guess what happens? Misses his opener. Comes back. His coach, in my opinion, gave him good advice. He said, let's stay there, right? Let's hit this lift. You know what he did? You know what he said? Well, that's not part of the plan. Go up. Guess what happened to him? Bomb out. So he was so attached to that plan, he wouldn't even listen to the good advice of his coach. And instead of placing, getting on the board, doing any of that, he bombed out. What's the story there, right? What happened there? That's not a successful competition at all. Become the athlete who makes lifts, not the athlete who gambles, okay? Now, all right, guys, the last part that I have is the foundation that you have built for yourself. This includes technique and everything else, but I want to go a step deeper, right? A lot of athletes, when we look at foundational training, motor patterns, how their body is working together, there's huge opportunity. And here at Project Lift, as we're fixing these issues with athletes, we're seeing huge gains. Competitions, in training, in life. Athletes are feeling better. Tweaks are so much less. Injuries are so much less. So what we've done here at Project Lift is we've brought our foundational training out for people outside of Project Lift, and we're calling it Vital Strength. And if you're unsure about foundational training, remember, I've broken, if you've been following the channel, I've broke it into 4 steps. We need to assess the motor pattern, right? We need to correct the motor pattern if it's off. We need to strengthen that motor pattern, right? And then we need to apply it to the lifts. That's how you correct a foundational issue and then apply it to an Olympic lift. Inside Vital Strength, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking you through those correct patterns and helping you strengthen it. If you are off in an assessment, we're going to see that in Vital Strength, and you're going to get support with that. So guys, we're offering a free week this month here in October. It's coming up, right? Click that link, get your free week, and guys, let it benefit you. Come and learn some stuff, check it out. I hope it supports you. So I hope this advice on competitions helps. It blows me away how many athletes are out there doing this on their own, trying to figure it out, no support from a coach. Guys, get a coach you can trust, get a coach that's there for you and that's ready to teach you and guide you to your goals. I hope it helps, guys, and I'll see you next week.